Good evening and welcome to another edition of Wisdom Reading, and this one being the Monday edition, hosted by yours truly, Kulufelo Suela. Thank you to everybody that hosted during the week. Last week on Saturday, we had Ask a Monk, Savyasachi, with all the answers to all the questions that we had, and also thanks to Bongisipo, who hosted yesterday's edition, which is the Sunday edition, and also Josi, who also did the Friday edition, and the Thursday edition was who hosted the Thursday edition, but it's quite a group of people that came in after we did the Monday session, and now we are back at Monday, and I'll be holding it down on Mondays so far. Until we get, other people who will also volunteer to come on on a Monday. And yeah, if people are looking forward to actually learn and also participate in the sharing of the scriptures, you are more than welcome. You can always talk to Wusa online and see all the activities that are taking place around the Wusa platform, where we are sharing a lot of books and Krishna consciousness, and what Krishna consciousness does um, uh, to your life, to you, how it transforms your life. All the editions that we are currently missing, right now. These are questions and answers that we need in our life at this point in time. So without any waste of time, we are going to delve into the reading. Today we are reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 5, Text 6 is where we are starting today. And we know from last week that in this fifth chapter, this is the chapter where King Rishabhadev is giving some instruction to his sons about the value of life, so that they can become better leaders in life. And this is wisdom that he is sharing that has to do with piety and that has to do with positive leadership as well. So before we start, we do an invocation. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay. Text 6 reads like as follows. Evam mana karma vasam prayute avim diat yatmani upadi yamane pritir na yavan mayi vasudeva na mukyate deha yogena davat. Evam, thus, mana, the mind, karma vasam, subjugated by fruitive activities, prayukte, acts, avidyaya, by ignorance, atmani, when the living entity, upadiyamane, is covered, priti, love, na, not, yavat, as long as Mayi unto me, Vasudeva, Krishna, na, not, Mukyate, is delivered, Deha Yogena, from contact with the material body, Davat, so long. And here King Rishabhadev continues his instruction. I'll read the translation, and it reads as follows: when the living entity is covered by the mode of ignorance, he does not understand the individual living being and the supreme living being, and his mind is subjugated to fruitive activity. Therefore, until one has love for Lord Vasudeva, who is none other than myself, he is certainly not delivered from having to accept a material body again and again. So the purport reads as follows: when the mind is populated by fruitive activity, the living entity wants to be elevated from one material position to another. Generally, everyone is involved in working hard day and night to improve his economic condition. Even when one understands the Vedic rituals, he becomes interested in promotion to heavenly planets, not knowing that one's real interest lies in returning back home, back to Godhead. By acting on the platform of fruitive activity, one wanders throughout the universe in different species and forms. Unless he becomes in contact with a devotee of the Lord, a guru, he does not become attached to the service. It does not become attached to the service of Lord Vasudeva. Knowledge of Vasudeva requires many births to understand, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Vasudeva Sarvam Iti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. After struggling for existence for many births, one may take shelter at the lotus feet of Vasudeva, Krishna. When this happens, one actually becomes wise and surrenders unto him. That is the only way to stop the repetition of birth and death. This is confirmed in Chaitanya Chitamrita, Madhya 19:155. In the instruction given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Srila Rupa Goswami at Dasasvameda Gata, Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavan Jiva, Guru Krishna Prasade Paya Bhakti Lata Bija. The living entity wanders throughout different planets in different forms and bodies. But if by chance he comes into contact with a bona fide spiritual master, by the grace of the spiritual master, he receives Lord Krishna's shelter and his devotional life begins. So, text 6 is mainly about the importance of a spiritual master, a leader in your spiritual affairs, and a person that will always share and guide you through your spirituality. It's very important, I think, for our knowledge and education that we have, that we value so much, that we live for so much. We've had teachers, and here Krishna is telling us that in his word and in him, in knowing him, it is not a bad idea to have a teacher. It's actually a great idea, and this will actually kickstart you into devotional life and eventually will grow into devotional service. Moving on to text 7. Yada na pasyati ya ayata guneham swarte pramata sahasa vipaskit gata smirtir vindati tatra tapan Asadia Maitunyam Agaram Agna. Yada when na not Pashyati sees Ayata unnecessary guna iham endeavor to satisfy the senses, swa arte in self-interest, pramata med sahasya very soon vipashit, even one advanced in knowledge, kata smirti, being forgetful, vindati gets tatra there, tapan material miseries, asyada getting maitunyam based on sexual intercourse, agaram aha a home, agna being foolish. And the translation reads as follows. Even though one may be very learned and wise, he is mad if he does not understand that the endeavor for sense gratification is a useless waste of time. Being forgetful of his own interest, he tries to be happy in the material world, centering his interest around his home, which is based on sexual intercourse and which brings him all kinds of material miseries. In this way, one is no better than a foolish animal. And the purport by Srila Prabhupada reads as follows. In the lowest stage of devotional life, one is not an unalloyed devotee, Anyabilasita Sunyam Yagna Karmadi Anavratam. To be an unalloyed devotee, one must be freed from all material desires and untouched by fruitive activity and speculative knowledge. On the lower platform, one may sometimes be interested in philosophical speculation with a tinge of devotion. However, at that stage, one is still interested in sense gratification and is contaminated by the modes of material nature. The influence of Maya is so strong that even a person advanced in knowledge actually forgets that he is Krishna's eternal servant. Therefore, he remains satisfied in his householder life, which is centered around sexual intercourse. Conceding to a life of sex, he agrees to suffer all kinds of material miseries due to ignorance. One is thus bound by the chain of material laws. Don't forget, every Saturday, Savyasachi Prabhu comes on, and it's a session where we ask a lot of questions. And I'm sure a lot of people have a lot of questions regarding what I've just read, the text I've just read, and the house, the whys. I'm also asking myself a couple of questions. I'm actually tempted to read further. Let me see if we still have more time. I think we're still good with time, and see if we can get, further explanations, about what we have just read. Yeah. Text 8 reads as follows. Pumsa stria mituni bhavam etam. Tayor mito hardaya krantim ahu. Ato graha setra sutapta vita. Vanasya mohoyam aham mameti. Pumsa of a male, Striya of a female, Mituni Bhavan attraction for sexual life, Atom this Dio of both of them, Mita between one another, Hirdaya Grantim, the knot of the hearts, Ahu they call, Atam thereafter, Graha by home, Shetra field, Suta children, Apta relative, Vitahi and by wealth, Vanashya of the living being, Muha, illusion, I am this, Aham, I, Mam, mine, Iti, thus. The translation for the Bengal text I've just read goes as follows. The attraction between male and female is the basic principle of material existence. On the basis of this misconception, which ties together the hearts of the male and female, one becomes attracted to his body, home, property, children, relatives, and wealth. In this way, one increases life's illusion and thinks in terms of I and mine. Wow. And the purport reads as follows. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sex serves as the natural attraction between man and woman. And when they are married, their relationship becomes more involved. Due to the entangling relationship between men and women, there is a sense of illusion whereby one thinks this man is my husband or this woman is my wife. This is called Hardaya Granti, the hard knot in the heart. This knot is very difficult to undo. Even though a man and woman separate either from the principle of Vanashram or simply to get a divorce. Wow. In any case, the man always thinks of the woman, and the woman always thinks of the man. Thus, a person becomes materially attached to family, property, and children, although all of these are temporary. The possessor unfortunately identifies with his property and wealth. Sometimes, even after renunciation, one becomes attached to a temple or to the few things that constitute the property of a sannyasi. But such attachment is not as strong as family attachment. The attachment to the family is the strongest illusion. In the Satya Samhita, it is stated, Brahmada Yagna Valkadya Mukyante Stri Sahayina Bodhyante Kekanaitesam Vishesham Cha Vido Vidu. Sometimes it is found among exalted personalities like Lord Brahma that the wife and the children are not a cause of bondage. On the contrary, the wife actually helps further spiritual life and liberation. Nonetheless, most people are bound by the knots of the marital relationship, and consequently, they forget their relationship with Krishna. Wow. And that, wow. I think I still have a little bit more time. It's quite riveting. It's quite interesting stuff that I'm reading today, and yeah, I'm reading all of this for the first time. And yeah, it's quite something. The hard knots, and yeah, you know, it's the primary thing is to always remember and always dovetail everything that we do, relationships that we have, to Krishna, and try by all means to involve Krishna in everything that we do. And I think, according to my, analysis, that is basically where we should be, and try by all means not to be attached, and think of Krishna, in everything that we do, so that we can finally make our way back to Godhead, because that is the purpose of life. Lord Rishabhadeva is actually, you know, uh, quite straight about the things that can actually take away your focus from Krishna, and is warning the sons. And yeah, quite, yeah, this is quite important, in our lives, if we would really like to get somewhere with regards to our future, you know, our future resting place, you know, and we want to end up with Lord Krishna himself, and everything that we do has to be dovetailed to him. We have 4 minutes. I think the purport. Let me just look if it's long. If it's too long, well, then we'll probably leave it for tomorrow. I think, yeah, we can actually make that. And I will probably close it at text 9. It's very, very interesting stuff, man. I'm, I'm really, really uh, ngicazekile. Yeah, yeah. Some stuff that I never thought, I would actually come across. This is becoming, a a session where I'm actually getting to get real new knowledge that I never thought was there. Yeah. Yada Manu Hardayam Grantir Asya Karmanu Pato Darda Asla Teta Dada Yana Sambari Vardade Smad Mukta Param Ati Yati Ati Haya Hetam. Yada when mana the mind, Hardaya Granti, the knot in the heart, Asya of this person, Karma Anubada Ha, bound by the result of his past deeds, Tirdaha, very strong, Asla Teta, becomes slackened, Doda, at that time, Yana, the conditioned soul, Sambari Vartate, turns away, Asmat, from this attachment for sex life, Mukta, liberated, Param, to the transcendental world, Yati goes, Atiyaha, Atihaya, giving up, Hetum, the original cause. When the strong knot in the heart of a person implicated in the material life due to the result of past action is slackened, one turns away from his attachment to home, wife, and children. In this way, one gives up the basic principle of illusion, I and mine, and becomes liberated. Thus, one goes to the transcendental world. The purport. When by association with sadhus and engaging in devotional service, one is gradually freed from the material conception due to knowledge, practice, and detachment. The knot of attachment in the heart is slackened, thus, one can get freed from conditional life and become eligible to return home, back to Godhead. And that is where we're going to close it. And yeah, I think text 6, 7, 8 questions answered right here on text 9, you know. When by association with sadhus and engaged in devotional service, one is gradually freed from the material conception due to knowledge, practice, and detachment. Knowledge, practice, detachment. The knot of attachment will soon get loose, and yeah, one will see their way back to Godhead manifest. And yeah, this is where we're going to close it today. The Monday feature is hosted by myself, Kulufelo, and tomorrow is going to be Nomusa. Yeah, Dr. Nomusa Kijai. And on Wednesday, we're going to have Itumeleng. Yes, yes. And on Thursday, we're going to be having, uh, you can say it.
Book club.
The book club is on Thursday. Yes, 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 yes. Please do join us on the book club. That's when we actually read the Krishna book, and we are actually delving into quite a lot of. And by the way, it's Kirtak. Hey, Shri Damodara Ki Jai. Kartik is a very, 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 very auspicious time. If you'd like to know more about Kartik, please go to WUSA Online. There was a class yesterday that was about Kartik and the value of Kartik and what Kartik brings and how auspicious Kartik is. WUSA is out here to help, out here to inform, and out here to help you liberate yourself. And yeah, I think today's class is done. And yeah, I can't wait to see you next week. Tomorrow is Nomusa. Please give her the support. And yeah, thank you for being here today. And yeah, till next time. Goodbye.